Hi YouTube, it's Veranti, and today I'm going to be doing a story time for you guys about how I found out I was pregnant. So let's get started. So let's go back to January of 2015, January of last year. At the time I was working at Walmart, and I was working about 10 days in a row, and then I have one day off, and then work like another 10 days and have 2 days off. So at the time, I was under a lot of stress because I was working so much. And so that January, I missed my period. And my period's supposed to come on January the 19th. But it didn't come on for like a week and a half. And then, so I thought I was pregnant then. So I took a pregnancy test and I was not pregnant. So I was like, yeah, it's just due to stress. Fast forward to March. Same thing happened. My period was supposed to come on March 18th. No, yeah, it was supposed to come on March 18th. And it did not come on. And again, I thought it was just because of stress. So I did not take a pregnancy test or anything. So fast forward to March 25th. I was supposed to go to work that day. I was supposed to work from 11 to 8 at Walmart. And I was so tired because I had worked 10 days in a row. So I called off that day, and my boyfriend was like, let's just go to the mall. So me, my boyfriend, my nephew, and my brother-in-law, we all went to the mall. And I had a really good time. And towards the time that we were about to leave the mall, my boyfriend was like, let's go get something to eat. So we went up to the food court, and we go to this place called Bourbon Street. It's a Chinese restaurant. And I get the same thing every time. I get orange chicken, shrimp fried rice, and macaroni. And I tried to get it, but I did get it. And when I started eating it, I started to get very, very nauseous. So I was like, my boyfriend was like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I don't know. I think my chicken is bad because I just tried to eat it and it felt like I had to throw up. And he was like, okay, try the macaroni and the shrimp fried rice. So I tried the macaroni and the shrimp fried rice, and again, same thing happened. I felt like I was about to throw up everywhere. And I was like, it's okay, you don't have to eat it. I'll eat it for you, because my boyfriend, I'm not gonna say he's a big boy. My boyfriend is like 6'1", 6'2", and like 170 pounds, so he can eat. I mean, he can eat. He can put down on some food. So he's like, I'll just eat your food for you. So, yeah, I let him finish eating. And then we go downstairs to Aunt Annie's pretzels. Because, you know, if I can't eat Chinese food, I'm going to get me something to eat. Because I was hungry. And when we went down to Aunt Annie's, I had got the pretzel dogs, the little pretzel dogs. They're like this big, the mini pretzel dogs, and they come inside of a cup. And I ate about 2 of those, and again, it felt like I was about to throw up. And then that's when it kind of struck a chord. I think it happened the same time. Me and my boyfriend had the same thought at the same time, because I was like, he's like, did your period still not come on? I'm like, yep. So he's like, okay, when we leave the mall, we can go get a pregnancy test. So my boyfriend, again, he ate the Annie's pretzels. He's like, he didn't want to waste no money, so he ate that as well. And then so we went home first. We stayed home for a little while, and then we noticed that we didn't have no laundry detergent. So he's like, okay, I was like, okay, we can just go get the laundry detergent and at the same time get a pregnancy test from I think it was Family Dollar. And I wanted to dye my hair again to brown, because my roots had grown out. So I was like, we could just go get all that stuff together. So we went to Family Dollar first. No, we went to Dollar General first, and they didn't have the dye. So we didn't get anything from Dollar. We ended up going to Family Dollar, which is right across the street from Dollar General. And again, Family Dollar pregnancy test was $13. So I was like, I'm not about to spend $13 for a cheap pregnancy test, and they don't have the dye I want anyway. So let's just go to Family Dollar. So we went across the street to Family Dollar. They still didn't have the dye, but I was like, okay, let's just get the pregnancy test. And their pregnancy test was $1. It was one of the, I wish I would have kept it. I threw it away a few months ago, but it was like a little small pregnancy test about this big. And we got the pregnancy test and we got the laundry detergent. But when we had got to the house, the laundry detergent had kind of spilled on the pregnancy test. It spilled all over the box, but it didn't get to the actual test. So I went to we have a bathroom downstairs. So I went to the bathroom downstairs and I took the pregnancy test. And I kid you not, within 10 seconds, it had the 2 pink lines on it. So I'm just sitting there, sitting on the toilet like, oh my gosh, I know this thing did not say I'm pregnant. And I was in the bathroom for about 5 minutes, and my boyfriend, he's knocking at the door. He's like, what does it say? What does it say? And I was like, leave me alone. And he's like, what does it say? What does it say? And I was like, leave me alone, Brandon. I'm not in the mood. And he's like, oh my gosh, are you pregnant? Are you pregnant? And he was so happy. So I yanked the door open. I was like, shut up before somebody hear you. Because I live with my parents. We were at my parents' house. And even though I was 18 at the time, I was still so scared to tell my parents. Like, no lie, I was so scared to tell my parents. And even though I'm grown, I was so scared to tell my parents. But I was like, shut up before somebody hear you. So we went on the back porch, and he's like, let me see. So I showed him. He's like, yes. And he was being so over dramatic. I get that you're happy, but he didn't have to do all that he was doing. So yeah, I was like, okay, let's go in my room. So we went upstairs in my room, and I was like, I don't trust this pregnancy test. It was only $1 pregnancy test. It has to be wrong. It was only $1, so it couldn't be a good pregnancy test. So he was like, okay, we can go to Walmart and we can get an expensive pregnancy test tonight. So I had to buy a dresser anyways, and I didn't want to go to Walmart to buy the pregnancy test because I worked at Walmart. So I did not want to do that. But we ended up going to Walmart. I usually work between the shift. I used to work at Walmart, the shift between 7 a.m. to 11 p.m., somewhere around that. I didn't used to work anywhere after 11 p.m. So we went at 11:30. So we went in there, and I got we first went and got the pregnancy test. We had got the Clear Blue digital pregnancy test, and it's the one that tells you how many weeks you are. But I had already calculated the weeks, because even though I was scared, I still downloaded a pregnancy app because I wanted to see how far along I was. And the pregnancy app told me that I was 5 weeks and 3 days. I believe I was 5 weeks and 3 days, and yeah. So after we got the Clear Blue, we went and got a dresser. And for some reason, somebody I usually work with in the day shift was the cashier on the night shift. I was legitimately so embarrassed to have one of my co-workers rang up a pregnancy test. And she was like, oh, you're pregnant? You think you're pregnant? I was like, oh my gosh, this is so embarrassing. So I just ignored her. I just laughed it off and ignored her. And when we got outside, well, I don't remember if he did this before or after we went into Walmart. But before, I had him call my mom and tell my mom, because I didn't want to tell my mom myself. And so my boyfriend called my mom. He's like, Miss Terry, guess what? And she's like, what? He's like, Bronte pregnant. And she's like, no, she's not. And he's like, I'm serious. She's like, put her on the phone. I was like, no, girl, I don't want to talk to her. I don't want to talk to her right now. So we'll talk about it another time. And I was like, but she's like, no, I want to talk to her. So I grabbed the phone. And she's like, you pregnant? I was like, I think so. And she's like, and I was like, can you tell Dad? Because I don't want to tell him. I do not want to tell my dad. I do not want people to tell my dad. But my mom ended up telling my dad. And she said he was not mad. She said he didn't show that he was mad. But I don't know. I wasn't the one to tell him, so I can't tell y'all how my dad reacted. But my mom, she was very, very excited since the moment that she found out I was pregnant. So we went home, and I started assembling the dresser. My boyfriend's like, no, go take the pregnancy test. So I went and took the pregnancy test. The first one I took, I peed on it. And I guess I didn't pee enough because it was supposed to show a little clock on it. It never showed the little clock, and it just stayed blank. So since I had used all my pee, I had finished assembling the dresser, or started to work on it more, and then I was drinking water so I can go back and take it again. So 20 minutes later, I just got like a little plastic cup, and I peed inside the plastic cup, and I held the Clear Blue pregnancy test, the stick, in there for I think it was 20 seconds. I had held the stick in there for 20 seconds, and then the little clock came on, and within like 10 seconds it said pregnant, and then it said the little clock was still down there to tell me the amount of weeks. So I just took the pregnancy test in the room because it already said I was pregnant, and it said 2 to 3 weeks, but on the instruction it said I was 2 to 3 weeks pregnant. But on the instruction manual it said that the weeks are not usually accurate because the weeks don't include the weeks that you conceived, I think it said. So I didn't. So then the next day I went downstairs, and me and my mom called the gynecologist I use now. My mom had previously used them, and 2 of my sisters. So we called the gynecologist, and they made me a doctor's appointment for when I was 10 weeks pregnant. And the doctor's appointment, I still remember, was on April the 30th. So I was worried up until the doctor's appointment because obviously I didn't want to have a miscarriage. My baby wasn't planned, but I didn't want anything to happen to my baby. So up until April 30th, I was very, very worried. And then came April 30th, I went to the doctor, and I was 10 weeks pregnant, 10 weeks on the head. I was exactly 10 weeks pregnant on April 30th. Alright, so then when I got to the doctor's appointment, they obviously did before that doctor's appointment I went to a different doctor just to confirm I was pregnant. And then at my doctor's appointment, they still, because they weren't the ones who confirmed I was pregnant, they had me pee in the cup, and they tested my pee. And when they seen that I was pregnant, they gave me a blood test and did it and did it that way too after they tested my blood, and then confirmed I was pregnant. And then I went back to the room, and they gave a pap smear, obviously because they do that at the first appointment. And then I had my first vaginal ultrasound, which I should have put that in the I should have had it, but I don't. But they gave me a vaginal ultrasound. That's the first time I got to see the baby, and he was just so tiny. He looked like a little peanut. And so yeah, that is how I found out I was pregnant. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I will be doing more videos on my channel now related to the baby. So yeah, peace.